Well, just moments away from making a start with the Restylane $50,000 FEI 3-star welcome here at the Aiken International. A huge thank you, of course, to Restylane. Restylane Kiss, part of the Restylane portfolio. Restylane Kiss is itself a hyaluronic acid lip filler designed to enhance lip volume, reduce fine lines above the upper lip and provide a natural look and feel. Restylane Kiss, proven to last up to 1 year. RestylaneKiss.com if you're looking for a kissable pout, and who isn't? And ask your dermatologist if Restylane Kiss may be right for you. Peter Holmes has set the course of 12 numbered fences with 3 double combinations, 15 jumping efforts. Starting off over the horseflight Oxer towards the in-out gate before that swinging left-handed turn to the Animo vertical fence at 2. Then they work their way around the course. The feature fence for our sponsor Restylane is, of course, that vertical fence at number 3. Those 3 double combinations, those coming at 5, 8 and also 11 as well. 1 scratch in this, so we will be starting with 41 starters. Peter Holmes has measured the course at 476 metres. We run at 375 metres per minute, which means that for this course there is a time allowed of 77 seconds. Those equal first on faults alone, going through to a jump off over a shortened course against the clock where time will separate the ties. We'll talk about the jump off a little later, but you may wish to have a look around. It's 14, 15, 2 new additional fences, followed by 3, 12, 8AB and 5B and 6 to conclude. Very best of luck indeed. We're going to start with a man who's been a championship rider for Team Colombia, silver medalist at the Bolivarian Games, and already a big winner here during the course of the Aiken International,
here in Aiken,
taking
South
yesterday
Carolina for the Split Rock Jumping Tour. We're carrying on our international tour this week with our $50,000 Restylane FEI Welcome, our first classic format competition. Yesterday's international winner, Mark Blumen, is going to lead off the class. He rides the 8-year-old Nutra van Windheuvel with this one for the over-the-top stables. Mark, in fact, took 1st and 4th yesterday in our opening international division. Got a time allowed of 77 seconds for the first round of competition here over Peter Holmes' track.
I hate to tell you, but
So Mark just working his way around this first round track. Peter Holmes setting out a track for the Classic today that has 3 double combinations on course. He's just set that slight curving line up from the Roses to the Seattle Space Needles. And he has the front rail there. So carrying 4. Out over the triple bar, and that sets him up into the distance to this split rock. Very dark, very solid in and out of verticals, and that's going to be a total of 8 now as he comes around to the ESI footing. 70.64 on the clock, very economic against that 77 seconds time allowed, but it is 8 jumping faults in the first round for Mark Blumen and Nutra van Windheuvel. Kathleen Driscoll and Donald Stewart's Flotilla go next. Flotilla, Polish bred by Alvaro, this mare. Kathleen just really balancing her way into the Dalmanoxa. Oh, maybe had just taken a little bit of energy out of the round and therefore commitment as far as the horse was concerned. So Flotilla just throws in the stop there, coming into the hands of poker cards. Come around, take it on again, but Kathleen, unfortunately, not in a position to give us our first clear either. Horse really jumped into that distance way over to the left. Was slightly sighting up on the side of the ring by it looks like. They certainly weren't going to come out of the in and out the way they jumped in. So that, unfortunately, is going to be elimination for Kathleen Driscoll and Flotilla. Ariel Aharoni with Christina Aharoni's Dutch Times goes next. As we were mentioning yesterday, this is a combination that have competed up to international advanced in eventing. We are at 3-star this week, but today's classic, the Restylane Welcome, set at metre 45 specification because our Grand Prix this week will be metre 50. At 3-star, it can be set to metre 60, and it can be set for specifications that would make it a certificate of competence competition for major championships, but that's not the product we're offering this week to this field of horses and riders. So it'll be a metre 53-star Grand Prix. That's going to be her second rail down. Didn't have the greatest day of jumping here yesterday, and it's not just that, you know, metre 45 is a little bit beyond where we are at the maximum in eventing, but of course you're talking about needing to train at metre 40, metre 45 for advanced eventing, because in particular in the classic format you go to it on the last day, so you're jumping with a horse that's utilized a lot of energy the day before. So you will see a lot of eventers coming, but this international level competition, one of the differences between, as I say, we could build our Grand Prix this weekend to metre 60, which is exactly the same height as you could build a 5-star Grand Prix to. It's the technicality of the course that is its own differentiator between the 3, the 4, the 5-star level, all the star levels. And that, perhaps, at this international 3-star level is a little bit more than a rider coming from the eventing tour is necessarily prepared for. So that's going to be a big old score here for Ariel Aharoni and Dutch Times. Christine McRae is next to go. Windsor Show Stables sends us Giulietta, the Holsteiner by Constacco. It's cut down a little bit behind on that back rail of the first, but it stays in place. They do have those safety breakaway cups that will break away under downward pressure to just stop an accident developing. Clear the Dalman, but again, close in on that back rail. I think it's maybe a little bit inevitable that they're going to have a back rail behind. Might be wrong. They clear the Vitalize, turn back to the Roses now. Nine strides up there, which takes them right into that front rail. It's the second time we've seen that come down. So still no clear round. It's a time of 73.51 for Giulietta and Christine McRae. Just that single rail. So they're the best in the clubhouse at the moment as we await our first clear round from this Restylane Welcome. So just hearing it will be 8 faults for Christine McRae and Giulietta having the front rail off the Dalman at number 4. Well, the MTM team, Mike McCormick and Tracy Fenney, with a lot of horses here with us at Aiken this week. It's great to have these exhibitors bringing horses for all the grades. We have 2 rings of jumping here this week. This is one of the MTM horses, MTM Through the Looking Glass, Dorothy Douglas for Davenport Farms. Just holds off a little bit on the 9. Just some have come up on the 9. They've been a little bit snugger into the front of number 8, and they've had it down. So Dorothy still on the 0 score over the triple bar. Ooh, just takes a little bit of a cut at both top rails there of the verticals in the split rock, but they stay up and clear the ESI footing. Liverpool and all inside the time. That's clear round number 1 of our classic format competition today. Dorothy Douglas and MTM Through the Looking Glass will put themselves into contention for a big win today in this $50,000 world ranking class. The defending Aiken Grand Prix champion on the Split Rock Jumping Tour, Richie Maloney, with one of his 3 international rides at the show. This is Equanimity LLC's Roxy Music. Richie's been based in the US for a long time and taken some very impressive class victories over the years. It's a tough start, unfortunately, for Richie, having the very first stand. He clears the Animo fence and turns back now to this line. He's just a little bit across number 3, just looking to maybe straighten up and shorten up on his way to the Dalman. It's a plan that works well for this combination. Lucky just coming out of the playing cards double here in front of the jury box. Oh, what a shame, just that very first stand for Richie and Roxy Music, so it's going to be 4 faults. Wild Thing is the ride now of Scott Keach. Scott owns and rides Wild Thing. Rode through Seamus Marwood's operation out in Australia. Scotty was an eventing Olympian at the Seoul Olympics, a show jumping Olympian for Australia at the Rio Olympic Games. Scotty again has ridden at Split Rock Jumping Tour venues up and down the East Coast. We've seen him up in Columbus, Ohio in the past, and here at Aiken. He finds his base really in Ocala, Florida. And we're going to have a venue in Florida next spring as well, in Sarasota, the third weekend in January. Horseheads are interesting. We really focused in on them in Sonoma, and they've got quite narrow poles as well, and it just jumps a little bit like a keyhole with the wings so high. The wings could easily take the end of a 6-bar track. They're probably over 2 meters. But just the one clear at the moment, but Scott Keach looks like he's about to give us a jump off. Yes, he does. Scott Keach and Wild Thing through on a clear, and that guarantees us a jump off now, as we've got Dorothy Douglas and Scott Keach at the very least going head to head. Another Olympian, Santiago Lambre. Santiago owns and rides Comtesse 202 by Comme Il Faut. So Santiago, who jumped with us in Columbus just a couple of weeks ago on the Split Rock Jumping Tour, he's been busy with World Cup the last couple of weeks at Washington and the National Horse Show too. Very, very quick in front there, Comtesse, with Santiago coming into the playing cards. He's going to be the first to have the Vitalized down, so that puts him out of contention. He's certainly not trying to be anything like the fastest 4 full turn. He's not changing that plan now that he's had 4. So the Vitalize is the only fence down, unfortunately, for Santiago Lambre and Comtesse 202. So it's Scott Keach for Australia and Dorothy Douglas for the United States of America, currently qualified for our jump-off. But quite early days in this Restylane $50,000 World Ranking Welcome. Royal Crown Stables Mainline Girl is the next to go, the 10-year-old mare by Numero Uno, Douglas King in the irons. And meter 45 or not, Peter Holmes hasn't made this terribly easy. He's got, a little bit of a ramp on the first. And then after that, it's quite a technical, quite a strong course for the level. And this horse, Mainline Girl, unfortunately just throws out the anchors on the way to the Animo. In terms of construction, he's been relatively generous. I mean, the fences are well filled in. You don't have that great airiness that you might get at a 5-star fence where you'd have a metre 60 vertical with maybe only 3 pieces of material in it, and the Anamo's got a pole at the bottom, a plank, and then 2 rails above that. Vitalize goes down, it's going to put them on 8 jumping faults. They should be quite slow on the clock as well, having had the circle early on. Lucky enough of that plank, they don't take a lot of edging to push them off those flat cups. He's very positive up this line here, determined at the split rock, and it stays in place. So just one more to go. The Liverpool, the ESI footing fence, and it goes down. So it is going to be 12 for Table A penalties for Mainline Girl and Douglas King. There'll be time penalties as well. Should be 3 time faults, so a total of 15. Prize winner here yesterday with a fast 4 faults in the opening speed. This is Tracy Fenney with MTM Farms MTM Dolce Vita, Holsteiner by Diararo. Clear the Horsehead, still on the 0 score at the moment for Tracy. MTM Dolce Vita has a great chance if she can get through to the jump off, because they really did show a clean pair of heels yesterday in terms of speed. And Tracy's such a competitor, she won't want to have an unlucky rail if she gets through to the jump off, and she does get through to the jump off. Clear round number 3, Tracy Fenney and MTM Dolce Vita, qualified to come back over the short course to conclude this $50,000 Restylane Welcome. First of her 2 international rides at the show. This is Chloe Reed's crossover. Chloe's been a Nations Cup rider for the USA in Europe. She's done several seasons riding at the top level in Europe, representing USA and wearing the pink coat. Your grandmother's horse Super Shuttle kind of captains the team now, and this horse crossover going to follow behind, just 9 years old, the Cardento Hanoverian. Good positive round so far as they turn to this final long line up the ring. Triple bar to the split rock. It was a surprise to Peter that he had some early problems there. they've settled into it now. He's not set up anything too trappy there in terms of distance off the back of the triple bar. 74.43 on the clock. Chloe Reid and Crossover will give us 2 in a row going through to the jump off. It is clear round number 4. Another entry for Windsor Show Stables. It's Jonathan McRae. Fantasy BB is his ride. Fantasy BB making great shape over the jumps. Big jump over that Dalman. The square boxy wings tend to just lift them over that anywhere he's had it in the ring. Horses have really given it socks. Oh, he's just having to ride up into this a little bit. That could put him in trouble with the plank, but not the way this horse goes up in the air. This is a metre 70 horse, not a metre 45 horse. Oh, he really dared him there. If that had been a shade wider, they'd have been in trouble. And is that going to make this distance difficult? No, not at all. Coming home, it's going to be a very fast clear as well if he leaves the ESI standing. Oh, he couldn't have come closer to having it down. He really rattles that rail, but John McRae and Fantasy BB. Jonathan, a winner on our Split Rock Jumping Tour of Grand Prix in the past, will go clear and make his way through to the welcome jump off. Brooke Kemper now with Caroline Bloom's Arpeggi. It's a horse and rider combination that have been going well over the last few months here in North America on the Grand Prix circuit. It's just landed a bit quietly out of the playing cards, and then Brooke just has to move him on. Very square going into that in and out, the plank on the out. You know, 3 quite different doubles on the course. All asking very different questions, but the riders are rising to it. So 3 in a row, 4 in a row, 3, 4, 5 and 6 all coming in recent moments. Arpeggi and Brooke Kemper are the 6th clear. So Daniel Geithner, Daniel, who comes well mounted to the show. He's got a lot of national and international horses with us here in Aiken. This is the property of November Hill. It's Veste de Lavardin, Celle Francais by Diamant de Semilly. So we've seen a few have the front rail there at number 8. That's the first to have the back rail going into the distance. The plank stays up. So Daniel Geithner will be one just caught out by the Space Needles double here, as a couple have been before. 4 faults for Veste de Lavardin and Daniel Geithner. Jonathan Corrigan from his base on Long Island comes across representing Ireland with Andrea Eper-Vogel's Fair Play by Gaillard de la Pomme. Jonathan just feels the need to push a little bit at number 3, the Restylane. It's back into a nice steady pace on his way to this first of 3 doubles in front of the jury box. To say we've been enjoying fantastic weather, but just as our FEI division has opened up today, we've been looking at winds crossing the ring and a chance of maybe a spot of weather or a spot of rain. The rain is less worrying. The wind, though, is something the horses don't like, and particularly when it's just gusting in one steady direction across the ring like this, it will just make some of the lines a little more difficult for some of the more sensitive horses. So Jonathan Corrigan and Fair Play will be coming back to us to try their hand against the clock there. Clear round number 7. Sarah Wade is our next to go. Andrew Philbrick is the owner of Phantom. Sarah really winds up on her approach over to the first. First sponsored by Horseflight, who support the Fist Pump Award at the Split Rock Jumping Tour shows as well. Oh, that's the second of the division to just throw in a stop at the Animo, going away from the in-gate. Like Sarah maybe knew she really had to, we talked about her winding the horse up to go through the start flags and onto the first, and whether she then just jumped the first so nicely that she relaxed and settled into it a little bit. And Sarah Wader, we just see the hand go up after she has that big jump with the horse just slightly inverting its profile over the Dalman, so she is going to call it a day and have another go later on in our international tour here in Aiken this weekend. Well, it's Remembrance Day in the Commonwealth, Canada, and Veterans Day here in the United States of America. Tiffany Foster wears her Remembrance Day poppy as she shows Artisan Farms and her owns Northern Light by Plot Blue. Tiffany, who took a top 5 recently in the T-Bird and National Horse Show legs of the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup Series, and winner at Washington with Figure just 2 weeks ago. Tiffany on the 0 score, she just goes out quite far to the right-hand side on landing over the roses to pick up the line. She wants to the double, works out for her. So another one coming home on the 0 score, the ESI footing. Gives it a rattle, but it stays 72 on the clock, so all comfortably through for Northern Light and Tiffany Foster, clear round number 8. Four-time US World Cup finalist Will Simpson with his own Will Simpson Stables German-bred Chaco P. Going to be another one by Chaco Blue. Will, who set some very fast times in classes national and international here with us at Aiken. It should be a relatively experienced horse for the level as well at 12 years old, so could be slightly pushing against an open door in terms of getting into the jump off, but then it's anyone's game really, because it's about how brave you're prepared to be over some of the lines set. But Chaco P and Will Simpson book their place in the jump off, clear round number 9. Dorothy Douglas, second ride for Dorothy. This is MTM Cedric, the Holsteiner Coleman. So Cedric is another one to have the vitalized down. It's gone quite a few times, 3 or 4. Just sitting there off the back of the two-stride in and out here in front of the jury box, then the curving line over to the vitalize. Just making a little bit of a shape up to the horse's heads. The horse has drifted a little bit left after the Space Needle in and out. Well, both rails probably went right to the edge of the cup but rolled back. But the last goes down the ESI footing, so it's going to be 8 for Dorothy Douglas and MTM Cedric. Dorothy, though, we will see back. MTM through the looking glass was clear round number 1, and they will come back in the order in which they qualify. And Dorothy has another chance as well with Pablo towards the end of the draw. Kennedy von der Reckery and Julia Curtis. Julia owns and rides, bringing us our 20th to show, so coming up to about halfway through the starting order. So the Dalman goes down back rail, off the Dalman there, off that sticky jump, unfortunately for Julia Curtis. Just keep the horse in front of the leg. Yeah, and just not feeling they were on quite the right spot up to the double the first time of asking. They just took a little reset. We're going to go over the 77 seconds time allowed, so it will come into play, as well as the now 12 jumping faults. Twelve jumping, 6 time for Julia Curtis and Kennedy von der Reckery. Total of 18 here with us in the first round of jumping in the Restylane sponsored $50,000 world ranking Welcome. So taking one of the first international victories since he redeclared for Brazil with us in Columbus. That was in the Welcome with this horse, the Diamant Rose, Santiago Lambre. Santiago also rode the Diamant Rose in the Puissance at Washington a couple of weeks ago. Washington being held at the Tryon Equestrian Center in North Carolina. So Santiago and the Diamant Rose will have the back rail. They'll also be one of the first, if not the first, to have a rail at the horses' heads at the end of that line. And I think it's right up in the air over the last, but Santiago Lambre will come home with 8 for jumping and 1 for time, just over the time, 77.29 on our clock. Quentin Judge and Double H Farms is next to go. Double H Zorro Z. Again, a combination we had with us at Columbus on the Split Rock Jumping Tour this year. Again, Quentin and his team came with a lot of horses and clients for all of the national and international classes up in Columbus. It's going to be the case when riders get into the Split Rock Jumping Tour, they enjoy it, they kind of focus on it. They schedules are set up to give plenty of people opportunities to ride in the main ring. There's a really lovely second ring here, and we've been, as usual on the Split Rock, showcasing young horses. We've had 5, 6 and 7 year olds jumping down there today. A lot of our horses have that feature, or shows have that feature Animo Youngster Bowl competition in the main ring as well. Well, it's like London buses. You wait all day and then 2 come along in quick succession. The horses' heads go down again straight away for Quentin. That's his first problem on course. It's going to deny him the clear that would take him back for the jump off. So Kathleen Driscoll comes back to us. Another one for Plain Bay Farm, trained by Henri Prudhomme and Katie Monaghan. This is Arome, Sol Francais by Norway. So a while since we've had a clear 9 of them, though, coming back to us as things currently stand. Kathleen through her potential bogey fence, the 2-stride playing cards in and out here. That's where she had her major problems with Flotilla earlier on, her first ride. Well, clear round number 10 gives us a nice round 10. Kathleen Driscoll and Arome. So we were mentioning earlier on when we saw him the first time, Richard Maloney is the defending Aiken Grand Prix champion, and this is the horse he did it with. Mercuzio here 12 months ago at Brucersfield. Richie and Equanimity LLC's Mercuzio. Can they make it through to the jump off in today's Welcome? I think whatever you might say about Irish weather, even Richie Maloney is not enjoying this sudden downpour here at Aiken. It's going to get a little bit more wintry as the weekend approaches here. We're going to get, I think, just down under freezing overnight the next night or two. But we've been having temperatures of high 70s, low 80s, 24 degrees Celsius here 2 days ago. Richie will just have the playing cards down here in front of us, the A element. And bypasses the Vitalize, so I think with Mercuzio, he completed a competition yesterday. I think there's less than 40 athletes eligible for a place in the Grand Prix, so he knows he's got his place. He doesn't need to finish in a particular spot in this Welcome. So he's going to let Mercuzio rest for another day and try and defend his title on Saturday here. So coming forward now is going to be Taylor Land with Pine Tree Farms Get Go. So suddenly a very European air to our competition here at Aiken. So Aaron Vale and Prescott in the ring. Aaron actually elected not to bring Elusive, a horse that's been going very well for him. So the first part of the double just below is down for 4 faults for Aaron Vale and Prescott, so he doesn't come back for the jump off in this competition, although he has one more chance with Major at the end of the draw. So the combination that were 4th place finishers here yesterday, Mark Blumen and Oakingham Lyra. Horse he's just starting to build up his relationship with, this 8-year-old mare. British bred. Mark for Columbia. Horse that we owned and bred at the Oakingham stud. That ownership might be about to update, but still in the ownership of Oakingham officially at the moment. So Mark Blumen and Oakingham Lyra, they are going to be our latest clear round. So Mark and Noortje van der Windheuvel, his winner from yesterday, won't be back for the jump off, but he still keeps himself in contention then with that mare that was very well placed yesterday, Oakingham Lyra. Clear round number 11. So starting their round, another one for Jonathan McRae in the Windsor Show Stables. This is Gazelle ES. Jonathan already qualified. Fantasy BB is our 5th to come back for the jump off. So Jonathan looking like he's about to have 2 in the jump off. No, the ESI goes down. So Gazelle ES and Jonathan McRae will have 4 faults at the last, keeping them away from the jump off. So Tracy Fenney also already qualified. Tracy with MTM Dolce Vita qualified for the short course. Now comes and rides MTM Farms MTM Apple.
La pantalla ya volvió. Nada más falta tu cámara. No, pero todavía no se está viendo.
Score. Let's see if she turns to this line from the triple bar up the split rock double. Two good jumps over the verticals and turns towards the last. Time should be okay. The ESI is okay as well. Tracy Fenny and MTM Apples.
7374, another clear. It is double bubble for them.
Sigue grabando.
Two now,
Sigue grabando.
two to jump off. 12 clears in total. 10 more to see, 10 more to conclude the opening round. 12 so far through to the jump off. Will it be?
Keenar is the sire of Quintessence for Doug Payne. Doug, who was on the podium here in the Split Rock Jumping Tour Aiken Grand Prix 12 months ago. He does a lot of pure jumping. He's based here in the Carolinas, sort of halfway between the Aiken Horse Park. He's had some very good results over the years at the Aiken Charity Show here in Bruce's Field, and then also north of here at Tryon, where he jumps a lot of pure jumpers alongside his career as an Olympic level eventer. So Doug and Quintessence just sight in on the last. They have it down. Unfortunately, the ESI footing is down for Doug Payne and Quintessence. So 4 faults in 75 seconds for Doug. Well, by the Holsteiner Stallion Kiwi Dreams, this is Quinn, Michelle Braun riding for Split Rock Farm. Michelle, who's been bringing her horses out all season. She's got 2 nice Grand Prix horses that she was showing since she really got back into the international swing of things with us on the Split Rock Jumping Tour at Kentucky. A Hunter Jumper Classic, 2 weeks. And keeping the ball rolling then with good performances at Columbus. And now just brings Quinn to us here in Aiken. Was the former World Cup finalist for the US, doing all this alongside being a young mother. Front rail off the Vitalize goes down, 4th or 5th time that's happened. Quinn just drops in a little bit through the left shoulder on the way to that Roses and might just bring them up short here. Michelle does a good job of shaping her line to get up there on a true stride. And out over the horse heads. So carrying 4 as they come back to the triple bar. rattles the last, but it's 4 in 75.47 for Quinn and Michelle Braun. We're going to go to riders bringing forward another ride. We've got Dorothy Douglas next on the list. We've got Chloe Reid to come back to us, Daniel Geithner, Santiago Lambre for a third time, Will Simpson once again, third time for Richie Maloney, Tiffany Foster for a second time, and Aaron Vale going to come back for a second time as well. He originally listed 3 horses for the classes, elected to just ride 2. So riding her grandmother's Super Shuttle for Charlotte C. Webber, this is Chloe Reid. Hanoverian bred by Staccato. Super Shuttle has been very well placed for Chloe here in the US and across in Europe. So Chloe and Super Shuttle on the 0. Oh, they're going to have the back of the triple bar down. What a shame. Super Shuttle has that back rail off the triple bar on the way up to the Split Rock double, so it's 4 faults for Chloe. So Dorothy Douglas comes forward. Third ride of the class, MTM Pablo. Was clear and will be first back for the jump off with Through the Looking Glass. Had 2 down with MTM Cedric. So seeing now whether Dorothy can make it 2 through to the jump off, the same as Tracy Fenney. Just a little bit free up to the Vitalize, catches it behind. Both parts of the double down, so it is 12 jumping faults in all for Dorothy Douglas and MTM Pablo. So back once again, it's Daniel Geithner, Oakledge Farms. Fazus is his ride, the Dutch Warm Blood by Up to Date. Restylane down early on in the course, hasn't gone too often, but it'll keep Daniel away from the jump off with this one, Fazus. Yeah, just dived a little bit into that split rock double, has the B element down, putting them at 8. And 8 it will be for Daniel Geithner and Fazus. Dingerman is the ride for Santiago Lambre. Santiago owns and rides the Dutch Warm Blood by Nintendo. This had some very, very good 5-star level results this year up in Canada. Santiago, he's shown his experience, gets a great spot in the way he rode the line to the Vitalize and then turned back to the Rose. He's balancing Dingerman here. Five strides up to the horse's head. So there's a couple having the early rail at that white and pale green double, but they've got the hang of it now, that's for sure. Knowing the time is relatively comfortable, Santiago hasn't taken too many risks here, and he's going to be just inside 76.4. Very, very well judged from Santiago Lambre. 13 is the number, as Santiago Lambre and Dingerman become clear around number 13 to come back to us for the jump off, and just 3 or 4 more to go. So Will Simpson, whoop-de-doo. Just takes a nice little sit up on his way to the B element of that playing cards double. Again, a little bit like Michelle Braun earlier on. His horse just came through the shoulder a little bit to the left at centre of the roses, and Will did a great job then of just moving the horse out through the leg to get the spot and the stride he wanted for the double and onto the horse heads. It's a little bit stiff jumping through the triple bar. Was trailing the hind legs. If it had been one hole higher, they'd have probably had it down. Whoop-de-doo, and Will Simpson are clear round number 14. Richard Maloney back with us. Equanimity LLC's Cocoa Beach is his ride now. Richie looking for his first spot in the jump-off of our welcome competition here, the Restylane. $50,000 in the prize fund, making this open for a considerable number of world ranking points on those Longines rankings. And Richie and Cocoa Beach come through the playing cards, have the front rail off the Vitalize for 4. Well, putting them on 8.
When you did it, it's different targets for when you
Time as well, so it's 8 for jumping and 1 for time for Rex Maloney and Equanimity LLC's Cocoa Beach. It's all going to be by Casal.
2 riders so far have 2 to jump off. That's Tracy Penny and Will Simpson. Will we get a second from the Canadian Olympian Tiffany Foster? She is in the second class to go, riding Mr. Cox horses. Tiffany Foster, Incredible Blue.
So Tiffany Foster looking to make it 2 in the jump off now. Northern Light qualified earlier on. Incredible Bleu by Swatter Blue Video.
Judges didn't see that. Now, we're on 8.
Split Rock double goes down as well, has a good hard rub at the last minute. Stays, so 8-4.
Well, Tiffany is clear with the Northern Lights, but with incredible fluid, just 2 rails, 8 bolts, 75.
14 qualified, could be 15.
All down to the last. 14 clears, will be 15 with the last to see. He was second and third yesterday, third in fact.
So Aaron Vale and Major for Donald Stewart will be our last to go in the first round. So Aaron and Major still on the 0 score. Aaron had 2 on the podium yesterday. With us in our first FEI competition of the week here at Aiken. He's been having a very good week nationally and internationally and in both rings, and his clients too. So as I say, 14 qualified, about to become 15 by the looks of it. And the ESI stays up and the time is good. Aaron Vale is clear around number 15. He will come back last to go. A perennially fast rider will come in knowing exactly what he has to do as our 15th to qualify. We're going to start with the MTM entry. Dorothy Douglas for Davenport Farms, MTM through the looking glass, and work through to Aaron Vale and Major as we welcome back 15 in about 15 minutes here for the jump off of our Restylane-sponsored $50,000 world ranking welcome here at the Split Rock Jumping Tour, Aiken International. Welcome back to Aiken in South Carolina. The Split Rock Jumping Tours International Division today reaching its conclusion with a 15-strong jump-off, and this MTM Through the Looking Glass and Dorothy Douglas are going to show us the way around this track. A couple of new fences coming in early on the track. The green is the new blue, and the macaroons that you may have seen positioned in the ring amongst the first round fences. We've quite a lot of material taken out as well. Great job by the ring crew to get us set here. Dorothy wants to set, certainly wanted to set a very good standard. The horse just misreads the green is the new blue at the last moment off a very, very strong forward pace. So that big destruction is going to be just 4 faults. She's not. No. So a refusal there at number 3. This really hasn't gone well for her, and I think, you know, the horse is just smarting a little bit from the problems at the first fence on the jump-off course. We've seen that inside turn now, inside the Vitalized. We were wondering whether that was on. Now, Dorothy wasn't necessarily going incredibly fast as she took it. It will be more of a challenge for those who are going a very, very competitive pace. Let's roll back from the Space Needles now to the one remaining part of the playing cards, and from the playing cards up to the Vitalize, a line that we saw quite a few have down. And she is going to retire rather than, I think, post that score. So after Dorothy Douglas and MTM Through the Looking Glass, we look for our first to go right the way around the jump-off course and maybe give us our first double clear. Australian Olympian Scott Keach and Wild Thing. Wild Thing just very, very keen to go down that line. Scott just wanted a little bit more balance and control coming to that. Probably a shade over meter 45, the vertical. Up there with the biggest fences on course for today's Restylane $50,000 welcome. Hustling along enough though. ESI around to the Space Needles, and he's just moving all the time a little bit right, setting up for this turn. Wild Thing, just 9 years old, has been turning in some very, very good results for Scott. Well, it's our first double clear. The time is a 46.02. I think we might see a little bit faster around the track, but Scott will be pleased with that double clear for Wild Thing here in the opening of the jump-off of our Restylane welcome. So Tracy Fenney with the first of her two for the jump off, and off to a flying start over the green is the new blue here with MTM Dolce Vita. Of course she gets this inside turn. I'd expect nothing less, and nails the Restylane after it as well. Coming down to the ESI now. Scott Keach had very good pace across the ground here. The Space Needle double coming around now. There's perhaps a slightly closer line here, but it'd be very brave to take on that big square Oxer off a closer line. Tracy Fenney and MTM Dolce Vita give us clear, and they are faster than Scott Keach. 43.38. So Chloe Reid is our next to go. Crossover was our fourth qualifier for the jump off. Time to beat 43.38 set moments ago by Tracy Fenney. Good turn back here now. Up to the last, it's double clear for Chloe Reid, and crossover. We'll get the time in just a moment. 43.86 it is, so a shade slower than Tracy Fenney and MTM Dolce Vita, but right there in the hunt in this 50,000 Restylane FEI Welcome. Well, putting us a third of the way through the jump-off starting field now will be Jonathan McRae. Jonathan with Windsor Show Stables Fantasy BB. Jonathan, perhaps just a little bit steady down to the vertical at number 2. Good turn, he lands and shifts over the Restylane. Oh, deep in onto that. Horse has to really haul itself up in the air. Just shakes the reins a little bit going into the Space Needle. Jonathan McRae is going to be double clear. The time to beat 43.38 from Tracy Fenney. 43.95 goes into third. So 43.38 for Tracy Fenney, 43.86 for Chloe Reid, and now 43.9. So 43.95 goes onto the board for Jonathan McRae and Fantasy BB. Brooke Kemper, Arpeggi. They were our 6th clear. 43.38 to beat. We've seen 3 on such similar times now in quick succession. Can somebody really make a difference and get down into the low 40s, maybe get below 40 seconds? I think if you could get below 40 seconds over this track, you would be unbeatable. And if they stay clear, this, the way it's going, could be the round to beat. Tracy Fenney, MTM Dolce Vita, 43.38. What sort of turn back will she get here? She tries her hardest. Keeps up a good speed right the way around the rollback. 37 seconds on the clock as they come up to the Vitalized. Just over 40. 42.47. Very nearly 1 full second out in front. Arpeggi and Brooke Kemper become the ones to beat now. 42.47 is leader in the clubhouse of this Restylane $50,000 welcome. So Jonathan Corrigan with Andre Hippo-Vogel's fair play by Gaillard de la Pomme. The first to challenge Brooke Kemper's leading time of 42.47. So Jonathan will retire on course in the jump off with fair play, but he'll still finish top 15. Will outrank all of those who didn't come forward to the jump off round of this 50,000 welcome. So for Canada now, Tiffany Foster, Northern Light, one of the 2 rides she had in the class. This is her jump-off qualifier. Gave us our 8th clear round, so this puts us halfway through the jump-off starting order. Tiffany for herself and Artisan Farms with this one. Tiffany getting some nice, accurate, tidy turns here. Just going to have the front off the ESI. Maybe didn't have the foot speed of Brooke Kemper's Arpeggi, but I think could have been comparative with those 43-second rounds. We've got a decent number of double clears, 5 of them at the moment, so even a fast 4, which Tiffany's natural reaction is to go for that fast 4. She comes in at 42.16. Would have been a time good enough for the lead. But with 4 falls 42.16, she will go into 6th place, and be interesting to see how high that keeps Tiffany in the final analysis of this welcome. Will Simpson did qualify 2. This is the first of them. This is Chaco P. Will didn't do badly at all in our speed class yesterday on the FEI Tour here at Split Rock, Aikeno. Oh! He was never right on the spot there. Horse took out those pastel rails at the roots. Eight faults and 45 seconds for Will Simpson's first ride around this jump-off track. Kathleen Driscoll, Plain Bay Farms, Rome. Kathleen had a couple of turns of the handle to qualify 1-4. The jump off, it was Rome who successfully went through the Sol Francais. Oh, another one to just be between two spots going into the green is the new blue opener for the jump off. Horse sorts it out though. Two sticky jumps to start off. I'm not sure. Kathleen, actually, she does move up now. I wondered whether she might just sit back and be a little bit conservative speed-wise. She's going to have the ESI down, the same as Tiffany Foster a little earlier. Another very good time, 41.35 with the rails. Actually faster than Tiffany Foster. And both of them faster than Brooke Kemper, but Brooke set 42.47 on the clock with a clear round. That's good enough for the lead at the moment. Kathleen Driscoll puts us 2/3 of the way through the starting field. 5 more to challenge Brooke Kemper for today's international victory here at Aiken, South Carolina. Yesterday's winner with the horse that gave him 4th place in yesterday's speed. This is Oakingham Lyra for Mark Blumen of Columbia. He said he didn't know this Lyra mare quite as well as his other horse with which he won, but that was still good enough to come 4th in the full international field yesterday. Aaron Vale just has 1 qualifier, but Mark Blumen won't feature at the top of the order today. Just sighted in on that playing cards fence and pushed from 2 or 3 strides out. Another very good time, 40.67 seconds with 4 faults. It now becomes the fastest 4-faulter. Our 4-faulters are having an amazingly fast time. Tiffany Foster, Kathleen Driscoll and now Mark Blumen, all with faster times than our current leader in the clubhouse. So Tracy Fenney currently sits in 2nd place with Dolce Vita's back once again, this time with the MTM Farms MTM Apple. So Tracy, the fastest of those 3 on 43 seconds, all sitting 2nd, 3rd and 4th on the leaderboard. Can she find the extra little bit to go out in front of Brooke Kemper? Close as you dare in around the edge of the Vitalize to find her line here to the Space Needle. She jumps that left of centre both ways, which actually helps her get a good tight turn here. She's just lost a shoe on the way around to the playing cards. There are not too many tight turns on the way home. It's if you had to lose a shoe, that's the place to do it. And she does it in 40.09 seconds, faster than absolutely anyone. MTM, Apple and Tracy Fenney become the ones to beat, and I don't think there's much left. Not much meat left on the bone here in terms of speed. So Santiago Lambre and Dingerman are welcome. Winner in the Columbus, Ohio leg of the Split Rock Jumping Tour this year. Santiago is going great guns here. He's clear over the ESI. He has been very fast over the first sector of the course. So one of the Space Needle down, and the last, the Vitalize 2, unfortunately, there for Santiago Lambre and Dingerman, so it's 8 faults in the jump off. Tracy Fenney, 40.09. Could anyone take that on? It's two very good competitors to come. Will Simpson, who's been very fast, Aaron Vale, who's been not quite unbeatable, but my goodness, he's very rarely off the podium this week here at Split Rock. They will be the ones to take it on, so probably, if you had to choose from the first round starting order, not two better ones to try and take on a very fast time. So Will Simpson, a little bit like Tracy Fenney, will ride for the second time in this jump-off. So he's already been around the track. He's seen some of the other riders as well. He might not have seen Tracy as he was warming up his own horse. Here's Will and Whoop-de-Doo. Are they trying to challenge Tracy, or are they just looking for a nice purse here? This is a competitive round. Will Simpson, Whoop-de-Doo, coming home. Is he going to be under 40 seconds? He's going to be just over. He'll be behind Tracy. 41.88 will go into second place with Whoop-de-Doo, pushing Brooke Kemper and Arpeggi down into third. So Aaron Vale with Donald Stewart's major. Be the last challenger, but what a challenger. If things go his way, we could be looking at our winner, and he will certainly have a go at it. He twists it up already. On his way over to the vertical, the macaroons. He gets a great spot here, turning back from the Restylane. Major picks up over the ESI. A few have taken the tight turn and then just arrived there when they need to be quick in front. Major is quick in front. Over the two parts of the double, just loses the footing a tiny bit. Rolling back here. Major loses no confidence though because of that. Look at this. This is going to be under 40 seconds. 39.65. Aaron Vale and Major. Last to go in the jump off. They blitz the time. 1/3 of a second on what we thought was a pretty much unbeatable time. We said there wasn't much meat left on the bone. Well, Aaron found plenty there with Major. He takes the win today, following up from 2 steps of the podium yesterday here in the international division. So having a cracking week already, as to say, not just in the international classes, but Aaron Vale, his wife, his clients, jumping to great performances here in both rings in all the classes of the Split Rock Jumping Tour Aiken International. Well, awards coming up for our second international of the week here. The next leg of the international tour is going to be Saturday's $100,000 FEI Grand Prix. Seeing who can follow in Richie Maloney's footsteps, and Richie Maloney himself is here. Richie and Jonathan McRae could both take a second win of their career in the Grand Prix circuit of the Split Rock Jumping Tour. We'll find out exactly how that goes down. But of course, we've got 2 full arenas of action for you tomorrow here as the Split Rock Jumping Tour continues. But awards coming up here today as we'll prepare to congratulate Aaron Vale, Tracy Fenney and Will Simpson on their top 3 results.
Starting in the morning with 1m30 junior amateur speed, 1 round straight against the clock. That's going to be followed by the 1m40 junior amateur power and speed, the power and speed format under table 22D, and then the Animo 7-year-old final, those 7-year-olds we've been seeing in the other ring over the course of the first couple of days of competition. And finally, a really interesting class, the 1m35 winning round, where we'll bring back the top 10 for the winning round. 4 classes tomorrow, a lot of action still to see before we look forward to Saturday's $100,000 3-star Grand Prix. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the award winners for the $50,000 CSI 3-star Restylane Kiss Welcome. It is, of course, Derek Braun, founder and president of the Split Rod Jumping Tour, congratulating for Australia in 8th, Scott Keach and Wild Thing. Then Jonathan McRae taking 7th, riding Fantasy BB, and it's congratulations to Crossover and Chloe Reid in 6th. 5th for Tracy Fenney, MTM Dolce Vita. 4th place to Brooke Kemper and Arpeggi. The podium placings: in 3rd, Will Simpson, Whoopidoo, Tracy Fenney. In the end, she's 2nd, riding MTM Apple, and Erin Vale and Major take the victory in 39.65. Congratulations to the podium they go. It's 3rd for Will Simpson, 2nd for Tracy Fenney, and Erin Vale taking the victory. Photographs courtesy of Winslow Photography as we ask you to stand and remove cover for the national anthem of the winning rider, the national anthem of the United States of America. Well, many congratulations indeed. Erin Vale, Tracy Fenney and Will Simpson sit 1st, 2nd and 3rd. But of course, congratulations also to Brooke Kemper in 4th, Tracy taking 5th as well. It's Chloe Reid in 6th, Jonathan McRae 7th, and rounding out the presentation party, it is Scott Keach in 8th place. The Restylane Kiss at $50,000 welcome was won by Erin Vale. He will lead away for the victory gallop. Congratulations, Erin Vale and Major. We'll send him on his own. Congratulations. Taking victory in the Restylane Kiss, $50,000 welcome, Erin Vale and Major. Great competition and great win. Another big win. So quick against the clock. It's Erin Vale, a major congratulations to him. Thank you, of course, to Restylane Kiss, part of the Restylane portfolio. It's a hyaluronic acid lip filler designed to enhance lip volume, reduce fine lines above the upper lip and provide a natural look and feel. It's proven to last for up to 1 year. Now, in a moment or two, Erin Vale will catch up with John Kyle for a quick word about his winning round. And it is, of course, Friday tomorrow, the third day of competition for the Aiken International. And we so look forward to the 1 metre 30 junior amateur speed, the 1 metre 40 junior amateur power and speed. That's going to be followed by the young horse divisions, the 7-year-old final, before finally that 1 metre 35 winning round. Big one of the day. And then through to Saturday, it is the FEI Grand Prix, this 3-star event, the jump-off competition. Some of the top riders that we'll see here at the Split Rock Jumping Tour Aiken International, and they'll be contesting for that $100,000 prize fund. So congratulations to Erin Vale as he makes his way up to the Kiss and Cry to have a quick chat with John Kyle.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Here with Aaron, who's having just a cracking couple of weeks, but I mean, even today I saw, there were 3 horses in a young horse class. Your client went in, bang, take a win. You're having a pretty good week with us in Aiken, and it's only day 2.
Well, that's what we're here for. Practice at home, show at the show, and in.
Train hard, win easy.
Hopefully, that's the plan.
Tell us a little bit about today. You took 2nd and 3rd on the podium, win to. What's your take on Peter's tracks and what's been set up so far on this 3-star tour?
Was a lovely course. Today again, really nice. Footing's good. So I think the horses are jumping pretty well here. Lots clean, made a fast jump off. I was fast yesterday, but I tried to give a little bit for today, and I got a good draw, knew what I had to do, and Major, as he normally is, was a really good boy for me.
Probably didn't know where Tracy had kind of really made the difference. Obviously threw a shoe, which maybe cost her half a second on the final line, but did you have any tactic based on other people, or did you just come in and go, I can only do my very best, I've just got to go all out?
Yeah, I actually watched Tracy. I only jumped 3 jumps or so in the warm-up area, so I pretty much watched almost everybody. So I knew if my horse maybe has a little more foot speed than Tracy's horse. We competed a lot against each other. So I kind of knew if I got the same amount of strides from the 2nd jump back to the 3rd jump, the sponsor fence, I figured if I was equal with her there, my foot speed would kind of get the job done, and it was just right.
Well, as it turned out, 1/3 of a second was a country mile here, and the welcome winner, the Restylane welcome winner, Erin Vale. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Good fun. Try again tomorrow and Saturday.
John, thank you. Erin, thank you. Well done. Congratulations on another victory here in Aiken. We do resume competition tomorrow, and remember, at 5 p.m. tomorrow evening is the exhibitor party. All are welcome to that. That's all to come on day 3 of the Split Rock Jumping Tour Aiken International.